Alrighty, can you hear me, Queen?
Yes, yes. I'm looking like this afternoon still. You look all fresh.
After a fresh nap or something? Yeah, no.
What's going on?
All right, well, welcome back onto the Atreyu Locs channel. So today I am very pleased because I have a very, very special guest, Queen Abike Idowu. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm surprised. Thank you. Yes.
Of course. AKA the freeform Natty Dread Empress. And as we'll hear me call her Queen Empress. So I like to combine the past with the future. So if you're wondering why I address her as Queen Empress. But no, today we have her on my channel, and actually we recorded a video earlier, which is already up on her channel. So definitely go over to her page and check her out, check out her videos. You're gonna love her. Most of you are probably already subscribed to her. She was on YouTube before I was, so you probably are like, yeah, we already know Atreyu.
I wish.
But yeah, so today we're just gonna continue the conversation. So as you will see her page and watch that video, I was, I visited her and I visited her channel and she asked me questions. So in this video, I'm going to be asking her some questions. So
I'm in the hot seat.
It's a nice, warm, comfy seat.
Okay. I'm nervous.
You're fine. So, yeah, let's start out, Queen Empress, by me just asking you, how long have you had your dreads?
I have been growing my dreads since, well, it's been 17 years. October made 17 years. So that's what, November, December, January, 17 years and 3 months. Okay. I don't know the exact date I started. I don't, unlike yourself. I don't know. I just know I started in October. So yeah, 17 years and 3 months.
Well, I've had my locks like a whole decade less than you. So it's okay that you don't remember your exact And I know you are currently freeforming and have been for a while, but did you start out as a freeformer?
No, actually I didn't. Because my hair was chemically processed, I had platinum blonde hair and I had to twist it just so it would stay, otherwise it would just unravel or whatever, or it wouldn't mat together. So I started off 2-strand twisting, but I never like parted or did any of all that sectioning and all that. I just literally went in and just took hair and just started twisting just all over. So it'd be, wow. Honestly, initially I wanted to start off freeforming, and I ran into my best friend. We went to a restaurant. I met him at a restaurant, and I took off my hat, and the look on his face was like, I'm like, what? And that honestly was the reason why I did not start. I really didn't start, because I could have let it just like take its time and just mat up, but of course, the blonde definitely started breaking and all of that, because it was heavily colored. It was platinum blonde, so I knew it was going to break off eventually anyway. So I'm glad that I went ahead and went in and twisted and went through that whole little cycle or whatever, but that only lasted for a few short years.
Okay. And while I'm thinking about it, in your introduction, let me put some respect on your name. Chris is a licensed cosmetologist for like over 30 years, correct?
Yeah, since 1988.
Yeah, so she knows all about hair. She is very aware of, just how detrimental dye and too much pulling, all those things can be on your hair. So
absolutely,
yeah, pay attention today.
I hope they do.
Hey, I'm taking notes too. So all right.
You're good. Right.
You're a freeformer, and I guess I'm curious to know, like, what do your dreadlocks or your dreads, your Nattys, signify or represent for you? Like, do you see it as a life, do you see having locks as a life, like a lifestyle, or just a style? And how would you distinguish between those two approaches to life?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. Definitely a lifestyle. And it's for me, it's freedom. It represents freedom for me. After being a hairstylist for so many years, it was always something that I knew I wanted to do, because in being a hairstylist, especially back when I was a hairstylist, dreads
Hmm.
weren't really in the area in which I live in,
Okay.
so people were kind of looked upon, differently. It's not
Hmm.
like Miami or New York or someplace like that, where it's, the culture was accepted. So I knew that I wanted to be free. I wanted to be free from everything that I had to do to keep clients in my chair, you
Right.
know,
Hmm.
representing freedom, freedom of being who I am, freedom of, people having to accept me for who I am, and unapologetically, just being me.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to be free to not worry about people being comfortable. You know what I mean? It's like,
Hmm.
I don't care about your comfort zone. This is who I am,
Exactly.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. And I like what you had to say, because I feel like a lot of times when people think about locks or dreads being a lifestyle, they get the impression that it's like this all consuming thing. Like for
Right.
me, I don't think about my locks, that often, actually,
Right.
and I think it's because of what you said, because I experienced that freedom from feeling the need to do something to my hair. I guess for women, maybe it would be like pressing and dyeing and stuff. But for men, even like getting it cut and getting faded and stuff, I don't have to think too often about my hair. And in that way, it is a lifestyle. It's just a less complex lifestyle, right?
Absolutely. Yes, I feel that way 100%.
Okay. All right. So I know, because you know all about hair, and you've been in the game, not just the dread game, but just the natural hair or hair period game for so many years. Um you sit in a place where you recognize a lot of misinformation that is online. And so I guess my question is, what is one of the biggest pieces of misinformation that you see lockers give online?
Um, some of the things that disturb me is when I see people that are actually making money off of doing hair or whatever, suggesting people to come ever so often. You know what I'm saying? There's certain people who will say, unlike like Yanni, we talked about Yanni before, she's different.
Mhm.
There's some people that are like, yes, you have to come in every 2 weeks, or you have to come in at least once a month, or whatever. And I just don't, I just feel it's more of a money thing as opposed to, you know, what is really necessary. Because to be honest, really, somebody could just sit at home and do their own hair. You really don't need to go to anyone. I don't
Right.
I don't feel it necessary. I mean, back when I started doing hair, I didn't even know of locticians, to be honest. And if there were, it was not that many here where I reside. But that, as well as products, product usage, and we got to use lock gel, and we have to do this, and we have to do that, and
Mhm.
just way too much products, for one, way too much. And then people on their own, not even necessarily stylists, but like regular people that just go to try to get their hair done. The misconception of, oh, it takes beeswax and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Now that really irks me, because we all know that you're gonna wind up having to cut your hair out totally to get that out of your hair. That's not coming out. I'm sorry. I don't care how many times you ACV rinse or whatever. That sticks and stays. That's, come on. That's like putting honey in your hair every day. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a misconception. Just the fact that it doesn't take a lot. Put it like this: the freedom in it is meaning that you don't have to go someplace and sit for 2 to 3 hours to get your hair done. You know,
Right.
there's no freedom
Right.
in that to me. You know, and being a hairstylist, you know, I understand the whole process because, yeah, when people came to me and they, you know, I scheduled them accordingly or whatever, they were still in the salon for like an hour or two or whatever. But to be free from all of that, you shouldn't have to go through doing that. You know what I mean? I mean, not everybody is capable of doing their own hair, but it is something that you could do at home. I do feel that.
Mhm.
You know, some
Okay.
people beg to differ, but again, like I said, some people can and some people can't.
Right. Right.
Braid, some people can't. Some people can twist, whatever. So, yeah.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I was thinking about like products because you mentioned products and just like why I guess how popular they are, and it made me think about how possibly like closely related or linked it is to money. I guess an analogy would be like medication to like big pharma. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
is there this big push to use products, not because people are really concerned about, the hair of others, but because they're just really trying to make money and they're marketing it in such a way that they make it seem like you have to have this
Right.
to that's where your hair is concerned. So
Right. And I think that you're absolutely right. You're on point as far as the comparison. Yeah, just think. Dreads, locks have been around for a very long time. Now, back in the day, who had products?
hmm
I
yeah.
mean, who actually had bottles of products and stuff? We're talking about centuries ago. What were
Right,
they
right.
doing? You know what I'm saying? They were
Mhm.
not, it was natural stuff. They were using natural whatever. I mean, you see people that were using like clay. I forgot what tribe was using like different clays and stuff, but it was even a Asian group of people that were using certain types of clay or whatever just to, have a certain look or whatever. But no, there were no products. There were
Right.
no products. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
was natural. It was like I'm sure Bob Marley and whoever else was not sitting back like, oh, I need a bottle of some gel so I can keep my hair twisted, tight. I mean, now look at him. You know what I'm saying? His
Right.
hair was totally accepted by everybody. Everybody loved him and everything. And no, I don't. I definitely can say I didn't see any type of products on his hair
Yeah.
being used. Now I can't prove it, but I'm just saying you can look at somebody's hair and say, okay, that's organic. It's 100%
Yeah.
organic. And then you
I,
can look at his sons as well. Um, I would say Damien, you
mhm.
know, um, Ziggy, you know,
Yeah.
even though theirs is a little more slightly manicured than Bob's was, but yeah,
Okay.
products is definitely. I just feel it's not for me. I just
Very.
think there's certain people that don't necessarily need it, and there's certain people that do need it, maybe because of scalp conditions or
Mhm.
dryness of hair or whatever. But it's part of your diet too. That's a major part. So
Right.
at McDonald's and stuff, then probably gonna need some moisturizer.
Right. Right. Um, and guys, if you want to hear about, our thoughts on nutrition and just diet, and the effect that it has on our locks, definitely check out the video on Queen Abike Idowu's channel because we get into that there.
Definitely, definitely.
So, Queen Empress, you mentioned manicure locks, and it's a perfect segue into my next question for you. Believe it or not, when I first encountered your channel, and it's been years now, so years ago, and I knew that you were a freeformer, I wasn't sure how you would feel about, I guess, not me as a person, but me as a locker because I wasn't a freeformer. But over time, like you've been completely accepting of my journey, which I would probably classify now as semi freeform because I don't do much maintenance
Right.
at all. But yeah, I guess I'm just curious to know like how you as a freeformer feel about the other groups, you know, like people who maintain, who do a lot of maintenance regularly, and then even semi-freeformers.
Actually, I am fine with all of that. I'm fine with everybody and how they choose to, um, you know, do their hair. My main concern is as long as you're not abusing the hair, as long as you're not causing, as we talked about in our other segment, traction, alopecia, you know, pulling too tight, stuff like that, using too much products. I don't have a problem with anybody that's natural, from natural to braids to twisting to palm rolling to even sister locks. None of that bothers me, you know, semi-freeform. I mean, because there's a big controversy over semi. You're semi-freeform because you pop. Well, I haven't popped, and as you can see, you know, if I did, I wouldn't have like all of this. You know what I'm saying? I did. I have popped before, but then they consider that not being freeform. So I across the board, I'm just like, I don't care what anybody does as long as you keep your hair on your head. That's what I'm concerned about. That's my main concern. So yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're twisting, whether you're doing whatever, as long as you're not damaging your hair and damaging your hair follicles, your scalp. So I'm open to all of that. I just really like natural hair.
Okay.
Period. And for people
Now,
to be comfortable with their natural hair.
gotcha. Okay. And that makes sense. And I guess, you know, I'm not surprised because, like I said, I've always felt very welcome, especially in our interactions and in your comment section and in my comment section. But yeah, I was, you know, sometimes I wonder because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes like certain groups can be judgmental or at least present an air of judgment, you know, when people aren't a part of their group, you know. So
Right. Yeah.
okay.
That's
And
true. I mean, I have heard people, I've heard people on both sides, people who are both manicured judge
mhm,
people who are not, who are
exactly.
freeform, and people who are freeform look upon people who are manicured, you know,
Hmm.
a certain kind of way. I myself, again, as long as you're not damaging your hair, your follicles, and sitting back with bald spots and stuff, you know, because of, you know, the pulling or whatever, I'm cool either way. I don't mind palm trees, you know, I don't care if you have like wicks, whatever. I don't care. You
Hmm.
know, the main thing is that you're comfortable with yourself and you're not trying to please anybody else, and you're happy with your journey. That's it.
I
You
could
know.
not I could not agree more. Okay. And a slightly related question, and I'm only asking this because I've seen a lot of videos on this topic lately, and I've seen them in the past, but it's like this resurfacing, kind of like how parts used to be, you know, in for dudes when they, and then it became uncool, and now they're back in, you know. How do you feel about non African Americans or people who don't have our texture hair getting locks? Do you think it is a form of what's the terminology that they use? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's been a while since I've used it. You know,
I know
cultural
what you're saying. I
cultural
know what you're
appropriation.
saying.
Yeah, do you think it's a form of cultural appropriation, or do you think that, you know, kind of like with everything else that we've said, like people are free to do what they want to do with their hair?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna sound like I'm contradicting myself. People are free, but as you know, for years and years and years, everything that was thought upon as being ugly on us, you know,
Mm,
such as our lips, our the size of our nose, our different features, you know what I mean? Our hair, you know, not being able to go outside when it rained because our hair just swell up or whatever, if you just had a fresh press or whatever. It just seems like everybody always wind up, and I don't want to sound negative, but everybody, they don't want to live our lifestyle or have to
right.
deal with the stuff
Not
that we have to do,
truly.
but they
Yeah.
want to look like us. You know,
Mm,
they
mm,
want the tans, they want
mm,
the the bodies, they want the hips, they want the, you know, all of that, and the hair too, you know. So in a way, it's like, how can I put it? It's like they admire us, but then they hate us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're not going to be accepted, but I'm a look like you, and I'm going to be accepted, you know. And I know that's not going to be a popular, a lot of people are not going to be happy about me saying that, but that's how I feel. I feel like everything that we do is like, people act like they can't stand us as a people, but then they want to do everything that we do.
Yeah,
And I don't knock them, but I mean, because we are a beautiful people. So
true that. Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. I think, and I think it's probably a more common opinion than you might think.
okay,
A lot of people do actually feel that way, which is why they get so enraged, you know, on this topic. Like, this is a very polarizing topic, you know, whether or
right,
not people, other races of people should be allowed to get locks, you know. I made a video a while back about cultural appropriation, and it's tough. It's a very complex situation in my mind, and that's why I don't think you're being contradictory at all. You know, I think what you said earlier and what you're saying now, I think they can coexist. So don't feel bad about that, or, you know, don't feel like you are being contradictory or
right,
whatever. Um, I can understand both sides, but and I think there's truth to both points of view. You know, I don't think that everyone that gets locks, that's, you know, that doesn't have this texture of hair is guilty of cultural appropriation, but
correct,
there are people that, you know, are. And I do what you, when you said that, you know, they don't want to be you, but they want to, like, you know, take some of the traditions and things that you have, like, that definitely resonated. So
right.
yeah, I get where you're coming from, and it makes total sense to me. So I appreciate you giving your thoughts on that.
Right. Yeah. I can't wait to the comment section.
It's okay. They don't have to go through me if they're trying to get at you. No, I'm
I
sure
know that's right. No,
it'll
it'll
be
be all good. It'll be all good though.
okay. So I guess moving off such a heavy topic, my next question is: do you feel a sense of connection with other people that have locks? Like, say you're walking down the street and then you notice. I mean, okay, nobody really walks down the street in these times anymore. You know, everybody is like stuck at home. But
Right.
back when you were out, you know, and you may notice someone that has locks, did you automatically feel connected to them on some level because they had locks?
Honestly, I did. I would, you know, but the treatment that I would get, because I never saw anyone around in my neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
freeform. I never really ran upon too many people freeform until like here lately or whatever. But when I first started, and people, you know, when I first started being freeform, I mean, it's a lot of guys around here and they're manicured and they would just look, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting any type of head nods or anything except for one guy, and I would see him ever so often, and we never knew each other, never knew each other's names or whatever, but he was freeform and I was freeform, and we would always look at each other and it would be like a smile or something. And even one day I ran into him in Walgreens and I looked and it was just like, oh my God, okay, that's him. And he walked over to me like we knew each other and we
Yeah,
embraced like we had met before. But it
yeah.
was just because we had seen each other. And
Mm-hmm.
basically in the neighborhood, he was the only other person I saw that was like freeform.
Okay.
And yeah, we actually, and I still don't know his name to this day. And I haven't seen him in years. But yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
kind of like embraced. But other people that were more manicured, no,
Mm-hmm.
they were like kind of like turn their head or just like act like they didn't see me or whatever. I used to tell everybody I feel like the invisible woman at times. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's I will say that there has been a major change in the past few years. Now I get stopped everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. It's been a major change since I first started my channel. And now, oh yeah, I used to always say, oh, nobody pays attention, or maybe they did and they just didn't want me to see it, you know, or just didn't know what to say or whatever. Maybe they thought I was going to be like talking about incense and it was going to be a deep conversation followed by it. I don't know. But now, yeah, now I get major compliments. I get from men and women. I get asked questions all the time. I could be in a store, like say I was at the store yesterday, at least 3 people stopped me and talk. It's been a major shift though. It really has been a major shift. And it's a good shift. I mean, it's like, yeah, okay, you should. I mean, people should be grateful that, you know, people are living in their own truth as far as how they feel about themselves, as far as being happy to be natural, you know.
Yeah.
My hair naturally grows out and gray and all, it's okay, you know. It's freedom for me. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I was looking at your hair. It's nice.
thank you, and likewise.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't know. I feel like, well, like I said, it's been a while since you've been out, and not, but general you, like you've been out and you see people with locks. Like I'm not out, you know, often now because of everything. But when I was, I would see people and I would feel at the very least that I could relate to them because they had locks, you know, and it didn't even matter like whether or not they were manicured or freeforming. It's just like, on some level, they understand, you know, the journey. Right. It was kind of cool. And I know what you mean about like the head nods and stuff. Like, kind of like how I feel like a lot of like Black people communicate anyway by just being Black. You see someone, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, that comfort and nod, like, okay, I see you. You know?
I see you.
Exactly. I even feel that connection like when I've seen, because I feel like as people try to be, or society is now starting to try to be a little bit more like culturally sensitive, you do see like in commercials, you know, more people with locks, or in like television series, like one person may have locks and stuff. And that's always kind of cool to see, you know, just acknowledgement. Exactly. Exactly.
You see a few.
Very, very you. Yeah. So it's really
this one. I'm trying to think of a series. It was one series. Queen something. What was it? Queen Sugar. You know that?
I've heard of
one sister, and it would, yeah, and she, even though hers were faux dreads or whatever, but they still had her in there rocking it, and she rocked it well. She looked beautiful with it. Yeah, but she was the only one.
Of course.
They had one.
Okay, Queen Empress. So I'm gonna start to work my way to wrapping it up, but not yet. So I know my subscribers, they're just like me. They like to see locks, and you don't need to stand up or anything, but can you just kind of show your locks, hold them up a little bit so people can see them? Because I love it. It's just amazing. Wow. Okay. Yeah, see my little bitty short things.
Honey, you're gonna be right here pretty soon because you're 7 years in. I got 10 years on you, and it's like you're gonna be down to your feet. It's easy. I'm just at my knees.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to ask you. Have you heard of the woman? I've seen her on YouTube. And I think I've actually seen her on Yanni's channel, but the woman that has the longest
Asa. I think her name is it Queen Asa?
Yeah, I think
longest, yeah. I seen her when she was I seen her having her hair styled. Actually, somebody did a photo shoot and they were styling her hair, but they also showed how she cleansed her hair and how she had to lay out and lay all her dreads down to let it dry like in the sun. Yeah, I'm very familiar with her. She's beautiful. Yeah.
You think you would ever let your locks get not that long, but just long where it hit the floor?
I think, well, definitely to the floor. That's not a big thing.
Okay.
I'm 5'8", so to the
You're
floor, I mean, I should be there. Not I have a couple subscribers that are there now. So that's not a big thing. It's just it depends on the weight. Because if your density, and I have very dense hair, I have very thick hair. So if it started pulling too much and it started causing any type of damage or whatever, or if it started making me feel, sore, which I work out a lot. So, I mean,
Right.
I've always worked out in the trap area, trying to build up my neck and stuff, neck muscle strong so I can, oh, no, but seriously, I have been working out for a while. I used to work out a long time ago. So that was one, I always concentrated on this area. So when people would ask me, isn't your hair too heavy? And I'll be like, no, because, even though I had like a nice couple layers of fat on top of the muscle, the muscle was still there, and now it's peeking back out again. But as long as it didn't, like her hair seems to be a little thinner. It seems to be a little thinner, so it seems like it wouldn't be as heavy.
Right.
I think that if mine was that long and it was the thickness of my hair, I think it would be too much. I think
Okay.
it would be, too much. I don't think I would let it. I don't know. I don't believe in cutting my hair at all. I haven't cut since day one, since I started. So I don't know what I would do. I
Okay.
mean, it would probably just have to be packed like I do now. When I go out to the store, I just put it in a book bag, and I learned that from people who play soccer who rock dreads, it's easier to just keep a book bag on and just drop your hair in a book bag.
Wow, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sometimes if you see me on my channel and it look like I got little straps on, I have my hair in my book bag. Serious.
I'm taking notes.
Right, tip. That was gem. I just dropped the gem, honey. Anybody that's sitting back complaining that they back hurting, ready to cut their hair, no, just get you a nice book bag, a couple of them.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes me think of a question that I've wondered for a while now, where locks are concerned, because a lot of people say the longer your locks get, the more they're going to pull on your scalp, I guess, and lead to traction alopecia. And I've always kind of, from my personal experience, been inclined to believe that that's not necessarily true, because the only time my locks feel heavy is when they're wet. And,
right.
As soon as I get the water out, it's okay.
It's back to, I have to agree with you on that. Because I haven't had any problems. I mean, my roots are so thick that the ends can't, my roots are thicker than my ends are. So my ends cannot, it's not heavy. They're not heavier than like, I guess because I allow my hair to go ahead, and even after I combined, I allow them to just do what they do,
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't have a lot of dreads anymore. I mean, it looks like I do, but I don't. It's just a lot together. So they kind of like bonded together. So my roots are strong, Only thing I would say is that I have to make sure that I don't keep it pulled back, for a long period of time. Let it free fall. Let it, during the day or whatever, whenever I'm not outside, allow it to free fall. Just totally go the way that it's supposed to go. Let it go any way that it's supposed to move. And in that way, if you're just like constantly like keeping it back or pulled back, see, and it may seem like I do that because when I do my videos on YouTube or whatever, I will have my hair pulled back. But no, when I'm at home chilling and relaxing, I take it down. I just let it, just let it go.
Yeah, I know what you.
When you're pulling it away from the way that it naturally goes, then that could cause like some thinning,
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sensitive to like headaches where tension on my scalp is concerned. So I know exactly what you mean. And even like I usually have my locks up in what I call tam satin bonnet combo.
Okay.
There's no tension. They're just kind of hanging in the bonnet. And
that's
so
the best way.
Yeah. So I really like I don't know. I've never been. I guess as they have gotten longer, they've just kind of been more in the way. So I really prefer keeping them up and out of the way. Like I had someone say to me, "You got locks? Like they're supposed to be down and out. You're supposed to be showing them off." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just kind of prefer."
When you go in the kitchen and catch on fire when you try to cook, honey. Exactly. Let it hang down there and let me know how that works for you. Tell them that one, honey. That's why, yeah. And then not only that, doors. I get caught in doors a lot, car doors. And just recently, I don't know what's going on with me, and I know this is TMI, but I have to make sure when I go into the restroom that I'm that I gather all of it and make sure that it's laying in my lap.
Yeah.
So no getting up in the middle of the night, like half sleep, and going to the restroom. You got to make sure that you have, or you're going to be like, why is my hair wet? I'm sorry, I know that's too much information, but it's true. It's
real. That's real. That's real. Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of wet locks, I'm curious, as I'm sure other people are as well. How long does it take for your locks to dry, and how to dry them?
Okay. Well, in the summertime, it doesn't take that long. It takes, if it's on a nice hot day and I'm out in the sun, I'm out and about because I water rinse only. Anybody that has been to my channel, or if you haven't been to my channel, if anybody knows about water rinse only, that means I don't use shampoos, I don't use conditioners, I don't use any type of products in my hair besides like certain natural products I'll use, like the aloe vera gel from an aloe plant, from the actual plant, not some packaged bottled stuff. You know what I mean? I want it straight from the aloe plant, and I will put it mostly in the areas that's dry. And I used coconut oil before or whatever, but and jojoba oil and distilled water or whatever, but I'm water rinse only. And I noticed that my hair dries a whole lot faster, and I like the way that it expands. It just seems like my hair is not, because it has nothing in it. It just expands, but it dries. I went out to because I take West African dance, so I went outside and was watching some other people perform for about 4 hours, and my hair had dried. Not 100%, but enough for me to say I don't have to worry about mold or mildew or anything like that. Yeah. Now, in the wintertime, it takes a lot longer because I live in a colder place. And what I will do is I'll take a diffuser on a dryer, or I have a hair dryer. Again, I'm retired hairstylist, so I do have a dryer. I don't like that type of heat, but you have to do what you have to do so you won't have that type of, problem. You don't want to have a mildew problem. You don't want to have a mold problem.
No.
You have to do what you have to do, which is basically the thickest part of my hair is up in my roots. So I have to make sure that that's all of this up in here is dry. The ends, they dry fast, super fast, So yeah, it takes a little bit longer in the wintertime. In the summertime, as long as I can get outside and be in the sunshine, it doesn't take that long. But normally in the winter, probably no more than 24 hours. But it used to be I was using shampoos and stuff.
Okay. And I know we spoke a little bit about water rinsing in the video earlier.
Right.
Guys, go to her channel to watch that. But I'm curious, why did you switch to water rinsing or water washing?
I seen it. I can't remember whose channel I seen it on. I really wish I could, so I could, pay homage to them, and a lot of people are against it. A lot of people think it's dirty. A lot of people think it's nasty. How could you possibly, because my skincare regimen is totally different. It's like, yes, I use products on my face because I love wearing makeup. So I'm using stuff on my face. So I have to use, like products. But since I'm not putting any products in my hair, I don't have the need to like have a cleanser and have an, astringent, whatever, I don't have to. But yeah, water rinsing, I wish that I could give props to whoever's video I saw first that did it, that I saw that did it. And when I tried it, I was just like, I remember doing a video afterwards and saying, having my cousin, I was like, well, how does my hair smell? I had my hair like stuck out like this. I was like, how does it smell? And it was like, it smells fresh. Like, you know, it just smells fresh. It just smells like the ocean or something, you know. And I was like, okay, well, I can rock with that then, you know. And then when I saw how fast it dried, and then when other people on my channel started trying it, again, it's not for everybody. It's not, you know, it really isn't. It all depends on where you live, you know, climate, what type of pollution you have going on or whatever, you know, what type of work you do. But it does work for some people. It's not for everybody. Some people just don't feel clean, you know, if they don't have like lather or
Right.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean, and then too, people have to also know that lather and squeaky clean doesn't mean that that's healthy, because that means you're tearing up your acid mantle on your hair. You know, you're drying your hair out, which means later on it's going to break. So you got to be real careful with products. And then a lot of these products that's out here that say black this, black that, black whatever, and then you find out there's nobody black behind that. Nobody black came up with, you know, none of this stuff. So, you know, they don't know I'm not saying scientists don't know the ingredients or whatever, but some of this stuff is just thrown together and they throw a black face on it, or somebody, a palm tree or something on it, and they say black pride. You gotta be real careful, especially in the beauty supply stores.
Yeah.
Sam, you a trip.
I love it. You not only dropping knowledge, but you are keeping it real. And that's why I love your channel.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I love your channel as well. I do.
All right, I got one more question because we could talk for hours, I feel. And
I know, right?
I love the easiness between us. But yeah, I'm sure our viewers don't want to be here all day. But I do have one last question for you, and it's kind of similar to the one you post for me in that other video. But what would you say to someone? And this is kind of two parts. But first, what would you say to someone who is thinking about getting locks, who doesn't have them yet? Like, what advice would you give that person, or what would you want them to know? And then the part B is for someone that has crossed over and gotten their starter locks. What advice would you give them about the lock journey?
Basically, the answer would be probably close to the same for both. Okay. It's I would ask them first, you know, why do you want to do this? You know, is it going to be short term, long term? You know, is it going to be a style for you? Are you going to be able to handle, you know, the frizz? Are you going to be able to handle the looks that you get from people? Are you confident enough to stand in yourself, you know, for who you are? Be bold in what you believe in, and that's your freedom, your hair, being free to be you. You know, are you okay with that? Or if somebody stares at you or looks at you crazy, you know, are you going to start feeling intimidated and scared and, you know, like, oh my God, they're looking at me, they're talking about me. You know, if you're feeling that way, then I would say this is not for you, you know, period. You know, and then also that this is a process. I mean, it's a time, it's a journey for real. I mean, it requires lots and lots of patience. It's like watching a plant grow. You know, you don't see grass just grow up, you know, like super fast, you know, unless you're putting some of that extra stuff down on the ground or whatever. But it's a process, and it's like the different stages you go through. If you're not capable of saying, you know, and embracing those stages and knowing that, okay, I'm gonna go through this stage, I'm gonna go through that stage. Like somebody was asking me the other day, they was like, does your hair still separate in certain areas? And I'm like, yeah, I have like something that's trying to separate right here, right now. You know, it's trying to lock back, but it's separated, you know? So, and I have frizz. I mean, my hair, frizz is my middle name, and I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's a problem for you and you like for your hair to be real neat and real tidy, then you're going to find yourself, you know, in a salon all the time. And then, you know, I mean, if you're okay with that, but don't think that it's going to be like, the question I get a lot is people are like, well, how long did it take for your hair to get that long? And it's not about length. It's like, it's about health. It's about
Right.
how healthy is your hair? How long did it take for your hair to remain that healthy? You know, so I would say definitely if you don't have patience, this is not for you.
Mhm.
If you are worried about what somebody's going to say or how they're going to look at you, or my boyfriend's not going to like it, or my kids were saying this, that, and the other, mom, you should do something else. If that affects you, this is not for you, period. You know, because you have to be able to be bold and strong in yourself. Kind of like my girl, Angela Davis, you know what I'm saying? She was just like, here I am, you know,
Yeah.
what? What?
Right.
Take me as I am, you know, and
Yeah.
you have to have that attitude. You have to make sure. I mean, when I walk, trust me, when I walk in any room, my shoulders back, head up. I mean, that's how I've always been, even back before dreadlocks. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the
Mhm.
confidence that I exuded, you know. So you have to be a confident person. You have to be someone who doesn't worry about what other people are going to say, because people are going to say things. They come on my channel and say things. Trust me, they go on my channel and say anything they
Mhm.
want to. They think that they, you know, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is a peaceful place.
Yeah.
This is a real peaceful place, but I'm gonna light into you now. I'm just kidding. But no, people will go there though. They will,
Right.
and they will feel they have the right to. Say
Oh, there's Lucky. Hi,
hey.
Lucky. So cute.
Say hey.
All right. Well, I completely agree. And yeah, that is some true wisdom there. So thank you so much. It is such an honor to have you on my channel. First, it was an honor to be on your channel earlier.
I'm so glad we connected, Seb. I am so glad we have. Seriously, I always knew that once we did link, that it was going to be a bond. I knew it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been watching you for a while. And I see you on my page, and you know, even on stuff off topic, you know, you have commented and made me feel like really like you were a genuine person. You know,
Mm,
and just listening to you, and then even reading comments that people say about you. I mean, everybody's
mm.
like, "Oh God, you're so." They always have great things to say about you. Very peaceful, very
Well,
peaceful.
I'm appreciative. So I'm happy that how I see myself is, communicated to others. So
Oh yeah,
um, tell the people where they can find you.
you can find me everywhere. Actually, I'm on Instagram, Queen_Abike, ABIKE_ Idowu. YouTube, same thing, Queen Abike Idowu. It's just one word, Queen. Well, yeah, Queen. Just type in Queen Abike Idowu. It's not one word. I'm sorry. I'm on Facebook under Abike Idowu. But mostly I would say Instagram and YouTube are the best places to catch me. And we could put it in the description box or whatever, since that would be easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, both are under Queen Abike Idowu. So.
Okay, guys. So definitely be sure to check out the description box. I will have links to, as I like to call her, Queen Empress, but yeah, Queen Abike Idowu, and definitely watch the first part to this video.
Yes, please do. Please do, because we had a ball.
We
Just like now.
just
Just
like
like
that.
a party, honey.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Queen Empress, and
Thank you.
I look forward to just continuing to watch your journeys, your
Thank you.
journey.
Likewise. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, guys. As
Mm.
always, if you choose to love, do so unconditionally, because loving with conditions the heart to not really love at all. Atreyu Locs and Queen Abike Idowu are
That's
out.
right. Peace.